Ooh, I shot the sheriff, but I said it wasn't self-defense. Ooh, Sheriff John Brown, always threatening me. For what? I don't know. I know. Good morning, everybody. Every time I plant a seed, they say kill it before it grows. Good morning. Oh, dang it. I got a booger on my screen. Hold on. But it may not be a booger. It might be some spit. I don't know. Hang on. Let me clean that for you. Sorry. Got that all on you. I get to sing it in the morning. Ooh. Oh, there you go. Ooh, that's better. It's gone. All right. Good morning. All right. Ooh. Let me get ready. I shot the sheriff. I shot the Agenda 21. I want to talk about Agenda 21 today. Overpopulation. People. Hey, you overpopulate too many of y'all. Is it too many humans on the planet? Is it too many? Is it too many of us? Hang on. You can't see the cab. You got to see the cab. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. See the cab, see somebody driving, and then you got everybody else. Are we overpopulated? Is there enough room? That is my question for today. I do want to look at it. Agenda 21. Agenda 21, 2020, 2025, 2030. It keeps shifting and moving. Does anybody like the idea of Agenda 21? Yes, I got a high voice, Lord. Hell yeah, I do. Sometimes you got to have a high voice. Only time I have a deep voice is when somebody calls. That's what you do. That's what men do when women call. Hello. when y'all aren't around, I shot the sheriff. And then when y'all call, just how y'all had them accents and fool us. We go, hello. Oh, how you doing? And hang the phone right back up. But I didn't shoot the deck. Cause nobody, you don't get nothing sound like that. You don't get nothing sound like that. So, good morning, everybody. Good morning. That's why I keep saying it. I don't get me started saying it this morning. Women rule the world. Women rule the daggone world. I know, because I know the men. Just trust me. I know. He doesn't listen to you. I know. He act like he don't like it. I know, but trust me. There is power in all right, I'm gonna stop. We're not gonna start there this morning. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? Happy hump day. Get your KY. Welcome to Earth. Everything evolved on Earth. Ooh, that's the movie. Ooh, who's that? Will Smith? Everything. This is Earth Kata. Everything on Earth evolved to hump humans. And the humans keep taking it. They just, we need more KY. I need more Vaseline. Okay. I'm overpopulated. There's too many humans. Y'all gotta stop having babies. Yeah, I can do the high voice. We're not overpopulated, people. I know I've said that before. We're not overpopulated. It's not either. You got too many hoarders, and you got too many supporters of hoarders. You got too many worshipers of hoarders. You got too many people who worship the guy in the cab right there. I bet you he got room. I bet you know what? I'm gonna go out on the list. I bet you got room. You got fuzzy dice. I bet you he has his lunch next to him in the chair. He got all this room. He just driving. Yeah, dumb monkeys. I bet you he has enough real estate. We aren't overpopulated. People, we have a resource allocation problem that's not a problem. It's by design. It's by design, and we consent to it. So they're stealing all the land. Hang on. Am I ready? Did I share it? I shared it. Grand Rising. Good morning. Who's that, Mandy? Good morning. Too many hoarders. That's it, Sharon. Too many hoarders and too many whores of the hoarders. Too many whores of the hoarders. We need less whores of the hoarders. That's what we need. We need less of them. Less of them. Y'all need to stop with these elites. You need to stop with these powerful people. You have no idea. They want your land. They want your water. They want your oxygen. They want to move you into cities. Agenda 21, baby. UN, they own every damn thing with the banks and everybody else. Y'all just an annoyance. We'll make room for you on the back of the truck and some of your bags if you going to work, but short of that, Anyway, does anyone else think G missed a great career as a cartoon voice actor? Nobody thinks that, Jonathan. You think that because you drinking crack this morning. You're not supposed to drink crack, you're supposed to snort it, Jonathan. Snort it, brother, snort. Puff, puff, give. Snort, snort, walk away. Don't drink it. No. I have voices because I'm an American. America, we have to have voices. We have to, oh man, if you are American and your cranial system is working, you have to have voices. You gotta have cannabis, you gotta have mushrooms, you gotta have fun. You gotta have aliens and Bigfoots and Loch Nesses and flat earths. You gotta have an escape. Sometimes that's my escape. I love cartoons. I think there was more truth in cartoons than on the current news. Oh, I have an idea how to fix the news too. I think you can fix the news if you somehow ban for-profit news, right? Because it's the profit component. It's always don't shoot the deputy, shoot the sheriff. Shoot the sheriff. It's the capital that's the problem. If you take out the profit component in media and news, you'll get news again, right? When the journalist, when you got to be Poe again, you got to live in the ghetto in the trailer park. Oh, the journalists, they tell truthful things. In fact, they're gonna tell way too much truth. That's what I want to see. I want to see newscasters with afros and mullets. That's what I want to see in my country. I want to see newscasters like I see people at the local Walmart. I want people in flip-flops and robes and rollers in their hair. I watch that news. I watch the hell out of that news. And no profit. Because the money is the problem. You take the money out, they're all non-profit organizations. In fact, you could probably centralize fact checking. I'm scared of that. I don't like the word centralization, because anything you centralize, you create a single point of failure, but we can process that through. You can fix the news. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? I want to look at Agenda 21, because we got into a discussion, people still talking about how it's overpopulated. Boggles my mind. People still talking about 5G like, oh, well, let's not fearmonger. Let's give it a chance. No, don't give it a chance. Don't give it a chance. Do not give it. We gave it a chance, didn't we? We gave 2G, we gave 1G a chance. No, we gave 0G a chance. That worked out pretty well. We gave 1G a chance. Yeah, some people didn't like it. We gave 2G a chance. We gave 3G a chance. 3G, we knew it was a problem. 4G, it was a big problem. 5G, hell no. Hell no. You don't try things like that. Some things you don't try. Hump day. You in Africa in a safari and you see the hippopotamus, and the hippopotamus is a little freaky. Because sometimes I go to my friend's farm, they got horses, and there's certain horses you don't go around. When the horse is like, the male horse is hitting the female horse and it's trying to get up there and do what it's got to do, and you see this big massive, what the hell is that under the horse? It's a dog. It's a dog hanging under the like somebody strapped a dog, a hot dog, a wiener, hanging under the horse. What the hell is he about to do? Oh, Lord, you see it get up. Some things you don't need to try. Do not go in that pen. Do not go, because it might think you're a horse too. You see a hippopotamus, you on safari, and the hippopotamus is getting a little freaky or something. No, don't go in that water. 5G, we don't need to try this. Agenda 21, we don't need to try it. I don't think so. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Oh, it's hot. Is it hot to y'all? Damn it, it's Africa hot in Pennsylvania. Y'all done broke the weather. Good morning, Beaufont, Courtney, Sharon, Mandy, Grand Rising, Sharon, Lori. Those who say we're overpopulated, are they volunteering to leave? I think so. Well, you know what? According to Agenda 21, they're volunteering to go to the concentration camp called the city, the smart city. I want to let the sister talk about that for a little bit, then we'll get going. Anybody else? No, because the thing is, because that's work too, Lori. That's no, that's where I'm no. Planet can be all overpopulated all at once, but no, I gotta change something. No. Climate can be changing all day. But am I gonna move out to McMansion? Oh no, that's not gonna. The Republicans, they might be corrupted, dirty as the day is long, but am I gonna change my party? Oh no, that's not gonna. That's work. No. Nope, that's not gonna happen. Anyway. Good morning. Who else we got? Nina and Terry and Jasmine. Smoke it up, Lord. A little early to smoke it up. Good morning, Dexter. Sleeping with my head to the east with Trish, a happy girl. Good morning. Good morning. Everybody's happy today. Happy hump day, Julie. Trish, get out, go do some work. You supposed to be in slavery. What, you free or something? Act like you free. Good morning, Pod. Christine. Americans indeed need more talkative. Americans are indeed more talkative than Europeans. Is that true, Christine? I don't know. Is that fake news? I don't know. Let's think about that for a minute. Because I know a lot of people in Europe. They can't shut the hell up. They remind me of Americans, because Americans can't shut the hell up either. But I will say this, and y'all not gonna like, it's a little American racist, but people from Europe, they think a little more. They do. I don't know. Either they think a little more, or I'm prejudiced and I just like their accents and they sound more intelligent because I was raised to worship the accent of the king. So I don't know. I think Europeans are more talkative, actually. Because you go to a cafe, they got that culture. You go to the cafe, you talk to people, be nice to people, stuff like that. Americans, I only have certain places I go, Christine, because I want to talk to people. So I go to places where the happy people go. I don't go to places where the miserable people go. But America, they don't really like to talk to you. You get them going. Oh, they got everything to complain about. The bunions and the bumps and this, that, and the other, and the cold and cough and coronavirus and all the selective arguments, try to save you in between, tell you God ain't real. And I think Europeans think a little more. I think it has to do with the fact that they're all bunched together because they got them on that continent, but it's kind of like an island because all the Europeans got to sleep on top of each other. Like France is sleeping, it's got his feet over Spain. Germany is sleeping, it's kind of got his head on somebody else, and the UK is out by itself a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I think they're close together. That's why everybody speaks each other's languages over there. America, we don't care about your language. We don't need to speak hillbilly, and we don't need to speak Ebonics. No, they don't even care. They just, you bad pagan. All right. Anyway, let's get going. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning, Tony. Do a show about depopulation tonight. Oh, are you? Okay, y'all need to follow Tony, watch his show. Ooh, I want to look at Agenda 21. Can we look at Agenda 21 real quick? Does anybody think we're overpopulated? Maybe that's the first question. Does anybody think we're overpopulated? Or are you just not going to answer because you think I'm going to be rude? I'm not going to be rude. I just don't think we're overpopulated. I don't. I do a little bit of travel, and in my travel, all I see is nothing but land. Not in Europe. And they're overpopulated. But they got a lot of land too. All over America, ain't nothing but land. Just land everywhere. Just all kind of room. The problem is people get together in these little things called cities, and they like put a lot of concrete everywhere and kill off everything, change the climate. Then they yell about climate change and how it's overpopulated. It's overpopulated where you are, but you need to get on an airplane, get on a bus, a train, automobile, do something. Just get the hell out the city. And you realize, but you can't go on that land because it has signs. It says no trespassing. There's land everywhere. So no, we're not overpopulated. We're stupid. We're overstimulated. But I think we're overpopulated with hoarders. We have a resource allocation issue, and we need a tissue. We need a couple tissues. Anyway, let me change the music. Agenda 21 is hot and popping, people. Hot and popping. UN has a plan for your land. They were put on order, I would assume, by the banks. And I'm not going to tell you I know a whole lot about it. I know enough about it. I've done some reading, but I want to let this sister tell you a little something about Agenda 21 because it ain't stopping. And it ain't organic. I know people think, oh, it's organic. We're going to do good. We're going to grow nice plants and stuff. First of all, the people who make these decisions, they don't grow plants. They have no damn idea. They're banks. They have spreadsheets. They're death by spreadsheet. They absolutely don't grow anything. I don't know how to grow.
Some of the things that we're trying to work on is actually get people to not come to the dealership and us go to their house, whether it's a pickup and delivery of their car for service or whether we're
flip that, script that, turn that ad off. Everybody's trying to sell you something. What happens in scarcity?
If you go to Lily's Pad.
Let's pause that. Let's bring up the thing, talk about Agenda 21 for a minute. So before they can walk your children back on a concentration camp. That's what I think they want to do. Boom. All right, where's my video right here? Right here. Let's take a listen real quick. This is that sister that talks
right
about
now, you will find a link to this. We've started a liliespad.ca bookstore so that when we're talking about books, it's on Agenda.
But it's an Amazon bookstore, so don't buy any books there.
Agenda 21, an issue that we have been following for some time, and its author, Rosa Koire, joins us now from San Francisco to talk about this UN framework that looks to take over your local government. Rosa, good to speak to you. I wonder if you can start off by telling the audience your definition of Agenda 21.
Agenda 21 is the action plan. It's the blueprint to inventory and control all land, water, minerals, plants, animals, construction, means of production, education, information, and human beings in the world. It's a totally comprehensive plan, and it's right there in your town right now.
Well, and I keep being told it's not real. We spoke to Glenn Beck recently. We spoke to Elizabeth Nixon, and then people say, "Oh, you're going on that hoax." Well, this is from the UN's website. It's Review of Implementation of Agenda 21. It's a UN report. Then you've got Resilient People, Resilient Planet. There are 47,900 references to Agenda 21 on the Government of Canada website. But
47,921. Anybody got a calculator? Do the math. Is Agenda 21 a hoax? That's apparently the government website of Canada and the UN have answered that question.
The spookier thing is, you're right, they're going into the towns, and that's part of the plan, isn't it? Get into towns, and it's bureaucrat to bureaucrat, so that our politicians often don't even know about it.
It's a global plan, but it's implemented locally. And so that's, it's a global regional neighborhood plan. So that's how you see it. And you're going to see it there. Of course, it's in Canada, and you're going to see it as, it'll be smart growth plans and wildlands project. So you'll see it as Imagine Calgary or Horizon 2067. And
don't sound too bad, does it? Smart growth, smart land. Smart weed, smart crops, smart. That sounds good. Put smart in front of it. America's like, yeah, this is a good idea. We want to be smart. It's a good thing. In school, we're supposed to learn. We're supposed to be smart.
Ottawa or Winnipeg.
Let's show people the Winnipeg plan right now, and they talk about changing your neighborhood. And here it is: possible transformation of neighborhood mixed-use corridor following complete community principles. And it shows you what the street looks like now and what it could look like, and it makes it look like everyone's got nice normal cafes. Get rid of suburbia, and some people might say,
"Look, stop it, everybody! Look, this might be a nice thing. Hang on, wait, maybe I spoke too soon. Look, they got the little girl look happy. She got a little red dress. She walking. Somebody selling some flowers. Is somebody selling flowers? He's riding a bike. He looks nice and happy. Got his book bag on. Look like he might have some high waters on, but that's okay. And this young man, it look green. They got a little patch right there with some bushes, and is that lantana? And that might be a boxwood. You know what? This doesn't look. It looks pretty. They got the nice awnings. It looks like Virginia. If you ever been to Georgetown, it looks familiar. This actually looks like the town center in Oaks, Pennsylvania. This kind of looks like these little streets in North Carolina. Some of this is looking kind of familiar. It's looking pretty. Anybody realize the whole Main Street town center movement? Because you think, oh, it's Canada what we're talking about. No, baby. It's here. It's been here. But isn't it pretty? Don't you like going to the town center, walking through the town center, seeing all the bushes and stuff?
What's the big deal? One, it's for the environment, and two, I like the way that looks. What's the problem with Agenda 21 working its way into your neighborhood?
And why don't you get a haircut?
Well, Agenda 21 really is the hijacking of the environmental movement. And there in Canada, you have the Federal Sustainable Development Act, which mandates sustainable development principles in every federal agency. And there's about more than $500 million in federal funds going to implement these plans. And
plans
of course,
that are made elsewhere, right?
Oh, this is a worldwide plan. Your plan, for instance, whatever plan it is in whatever part of Canada, is the same plan in the United States. It's the same as the Hanoi Regional Center 2030 plan. These plans are all the same plan.
So, is that such a bad thing if we get ice cream? I think somebody just said ice cream is in the plan. Hey, Kim Jackson, she said that everybody's gonna get ice cream. So I don't know. Maybe it's not such a bad idea. Who made the plans?
Help us understand then how this comes about, that it's all the same plan, because I've been to these meetings and where you're told, well, we want to do smart growth, it's sustainable. They use buzzwords that sound
smart growth.
Good.
Ooh, can we talk about smart growth for a minute? I want to talk about smart growth. I really want to talk. I'm gonna push people away because I'm a grower. I like to grow things, and we can talk about smart growth. Is organic growing smart growth? That's what people usually, when you say smart growth, we go to organic. Yeah, organic. Organic is smart growth. I'm gonna tell you something real quick. Organic is not smart growth, okay? Smart growth is called a forest. That's what it's called. It's called a food forest. If you want to eat smart food, you're gonna eat it smart the way it developed its intelligence over billions of years in a food forest, not a farm. All right, that's number one. Organic growing is not natural. It's not healthy. I'm gonna get on a tangent. Let her talk. See, I almost got pulled in. I don't like it. I don't like when people, they like to put those letters in front of smartphone, making everybody dumb. Smart food, making everybody say smart medicine. Be smart. And I just, when you're intelligent, you question these things. And you're not growing. All right, I want to go back to the picture. Did y'all just think back to the picture? Wasn't that long ago. The picture had a little box with the tree growing out of it, and it was surrounded by this hard stuff that kills everything, murders the ecosystem, called concrete. That's not smart. That's stupid. It's called an ecosystem that can't evolve. Everything grows by mycorrhizae fungi. Okay, Susan will tell you that. That's how everything grows, mycorrhizae fungi. It can't connect from box A to box B because it's 30 feet in that direction because you got to put a cafe in between and a whole bunch of concrete. So when the rain comes, the water runs off in the storm water, and they don't even clean the Viagra and the pesticides and the Xanax and all that out the water. So that's a whole nother discussion. It's not smart to create a concrete city and put all the nasty mammals in one little box and put a little box in nature. That's not smart. Unfortunately, that violates pretty much every damn law in nature, okay, from the very beginning of time.
But you're right. It is the same plan. It will make everything look the same. And they're talking about making everything looking the same in suburbia.
Yeah, it's not even so much about looking the same, although smart growth is high density development on transit lines. What it's really about is inventorying and controlling. And it's also about creating artificial scarcity. So it's about limiting your access to your resources. That's the wildland element of the project.
Okay, now we're getting to some bad land here. Control. So we know who the controllers are. They've been trying to control the human race from the very beginning. They're not nice people. Cataloging, which is probably a bad thing. Usually that's what you do to cattle. You're not supposed to catalog humans. Besides the fact, you know what? I posted something not too long ago. I said there's 7 billion people on Earth, because I always post stuff about 7 billion people on Earth. And somebody asked me a question, how you know? And I actually don't know. I think they want to know. How do they know how many people in Ireland and Africa? How do they know how many people in the Amazon jungle? They don't know how many people there. They have no damn idea, but they want to. See, what you got to do is you got to get people out of their foraging, sustainable places where they might throw bows and arrows and spears and chuck things at you, rocks and stuff, and get them out of their sustainable element and get them into a city. See, and this is the next big word that she mentioned, boys and girls, called artificial scarcity. See, if you know where the people are and you got them cataloged like cattle, there's some cows that perform better than others, and that's just how it goes. Unfortunately, some cattle ain't looking too healthy, and you kind of put them in another area, let's call it the trailer park or the ghetto in the city, because they're gonna move the trailer park to the city. And then you don't want to give them as much as the resource because they don't work as hard. You know, they didn't go to school. They don't have enough acronym letters behind their name. And so you can deploy artificial scarcity if you control all the resources. This is what's wrong with Americans today. It's about artificial scarcity. This is why you can't go to, what's the name of that island, Sentinel Island, because the people are free. And you come there, they can tell you where you got to go. And they try to send you there expeditiously. With their spears and chucking rocks at you. They murder everybody who try to come to that island. And the kings can't have that. If they want your land, then they need to be able to get you off of it and control your ability to go back to it. And then people say, you're never gonna take me off my land. I hate to tell you this, I hate to break it to you. That's kind of like the whole Area 51 thing. They're not gonna get us all. And they would have got every last one of y'all. That's why nobody showed. About 8 people showed up at the storm Area 51. They got everybody. Everybody in America who said, you're not gonna get me off my land. Guess what? They got them off their land. Every last one of them. The land is there, they're not. And it's got a big flag in it, it says United States Corporation. And so yeah, they're gonna get you off your land. Artificial scarcity, cataloging, controlling, putting the population in a very small area, and then deploying 5G all around it and cranking it up. So you had the 2-inch waves that go through. This is why I talk about all of this, because it all feeds together. This is all the same agenda. It's all the same exact agenda of taking a slave plantation that's growing disgruntled and putting it in a place where it can't grunt. That's what this is about.
And then smart growth, which restricts your ability to use your land. And so when it's federally subsidized high density development in the centers of your cities, and then you have these charrettes or these visioning projects, which you're invited to come and give your opinion on that great new Imagine Calgary plan, which is the same plan that you'll see all across the world. You're given the impression that you're crafting that plan yourself, but in fact, you are actually being directed to a predetermined outcome. using a mind control technique.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll come by. We'll talk about that. It's called the Delphi technique, and it's part of this process. More with Rosa Koire.
What is the Delphi technique? And with the government Delphi,
exactly.
I'll ask you quickly about the Delphi technique and then get on to Environment Canada doing away with dams and why that is. So explain the Delphi technique while we still have a couple minutes here.
Yeah, this is a technique that you're going to see. Of course, it won't be called the Delphi technique by anyone, and just like you'll never see Agenda 21 called.
They'll call it the smartness. They'll call it the smart brain. They'll call it the smart intellectual. They'll call it being smart. They'll call it don't be a deplorable. They'll call it don't be something. They'll call it smart something. They'll just put some words and just confuse you, but understand that this is brainwashing.
Called Agenda 21 in these meetings. But it's a meeting where you're invited to come and give your opinion on that cool new plan for the center of your town. And you go in, and it's it's all set up with tables, and you've got your crayons and your little gold stars.
Oh, get crayons and gold stars and cookies and milk and chocolate, and we're gonna get gift bags when we leave. Trust me, I done done that. I done done that. Well, you're jaded. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. So I used to go talk to legislators all the time. We care. Oh, one of them hugged me, tears and stuff. We took pictures and photo ops and everything, and you leave after you explain to them that their law is a bad idea, but you didn't realize they already cashed a check. The UN already sent the money. They already cashed a check that you get no options in this. But they'll sit down with you and they'll make you think it's your idea. And it's like husband and wives, they do that to each other all the time. They Delphi the hell out of each other all the time. I'm not gonna get into it because every time I go there, it just go in the wrong place. But Delphi technique.
And you get to say basically what you want to see. Well, sprawl, which is where many people live, if you live in a single family home, that's considered unsustainable. That's business as usual. And you're not supposed to choose that. You're supposed to choose your planned future. Yes. And so this plan actually directs public opinion while giving them the impression that their input is actually being listened to. And I'll tell you, if you go into those meetings and you dissent, you will quickly find that your opinion is not really crafting this plan. This plan is actually being used to propagandize you and to shut you up if you consider that this is not your idea for what you want to see in your town.
Yeah.
So they make you look like you're not smart. Y'all ever see those videos on YouTube? Go to the town meeting and they're already prepared. You show up and you think that all of these people aren't against you with the corporation and the lobbyists, and they haven't done their research and the homework or whatever, and you speak up, but that's my land, and they reply with something. They've done their homework ahead of time. It's like going into a debate unprepared. They're all over YouTube. I've seen this strategy they use quite often.
And if you think that Rosa's being foolish in what she's saying there, I've been to some of these meetings. You speak up, you go off the rails. Quickly, Environment Canada getting rid of dams. And this is in a Government of Canada plan. Why would they do that?
Yeah, well, reservoirs, this is the opinion of Environment Canada. Reservoirs emit too many greenhouse gas emissions. And so the plan is for dam removal, which you are seeing, of course, across the United States. And, Canada has 20% of the world's fresh water, and uses hydroelectric. But this is not considered to be sustainable because it's producing greenhouse gas emissions. So Canadians are expected to reduce their water usage, their water consumption.
Because we're running out of water 40%. So quickly? We're running out of water in Canada?
Hang on. All right, let's process. Let's process this for a minute. Are dams good idea? I think dams are good ideas, right? Because you got the fish elevator now. Y'all know what the fish elevator is, because the first thing you say is dam. It's a good idea. People are like, but the fish! And I'm like, yeah, well, it is a good idea at this moment. Should we continue with dams in the future? Hell no. But for right now, monkeys get a little aggressive when they don't have power. When monkeys can't afford to live and they don't have electricity, they do very violent things when they grow up in poverty. So dams are a good idea if they're hydroelectric. They create electricity. You got the fish elevator so the fish can swim upstream and downstream with the plan to get rid of the damn dam. Okay, that's where I stand. You want to get rid of the damn dam, but not when the UN says so. You know why? Because the UN and your government, all these leaders don't talk about the UFOs. That's why I always talk about the UFOs. Somebody is flying a damn free energy TR-3B patent that was released in 2004. Flying around the planet. Why are we talking about dams? Damn it. Why are we talking about solar panels? Why are we talking about turbines? Why are we talking about this idea that we need to stop destroying nature? We got free energy, somebody flying around. We can't get no F-16s or F-18s or stealth fighters to go find out who that is. The government don't even see it. Don't get me started on free energy. It boggles my mind. Why the hell you're fighting climate change for people who pretend that they don't see that free energy crap that the United States Navy said is up there? Me personally, I'm not getting to the theories. I'm not gonna do the theories of who I think it is. But I think the person has 2 feet, 5 fingers. Now I don't think they got 6. I think they got 5 on each hand, and they got an insignia, right? They're using those craft for a war, not for you. They'll steal your land, they'll shoot every last Bundy, Lavoy Finicum, and everybody in the city if they need to get the land. They want the land, and they're not going to share it with you. It's not coming for you in terms of a nice thing. They don't want to put boxwoods and lantanas and make your land pretty and give you freedom and democracy. They want to steal your land, they want to rob you, and if you defy them, they've already made it clear, they will kill you. All right? That's how this works. That's why it's happy. I don't get happy hump day. Why would you wish anybody happy humping? I never understood that, because that's not a good thing. Slavery's not a good thing, but we have these names. But this is what they want, and that's why they're working you to death and mental illness, because most people would cheer to go to the city, and I'm not a city person. I like nature, but the dams gotta go away. But the point is, it's where we are right now, because you can't get people to focus on the fact that free energy was invented a very long time ago. We've had enough inventors going back to the 1940s or 30s. The first levitation experiments began before the government shut down on all that, deleted all that information, closed everything up, took the little flying. The guy made a flying craft out of bugs, people. What was his name? Victor Brighenikov, whatever. That is a discussion when you're talking about save the planet. What happened to this technology? That's a discussion when you're talking about rolling out something to protect the environment. Not asking the UN, the people who've been involved in every single war since Adam, blowing up countries, stealing their resources, and genociding people. You don't go to people like that and say, can you make a pretty community for me? Can you find a little nice, smart city to put me in? It's literally a dumb city because it's a concentration camp.
It's a renewable resource too, yeah. And what else do you guys have besides timber, water, oil, gas, water? So
all the stuff they don't want us to use. So is this a loss of sovereignty? Because you look at these plans, this one here, this report, that report. Canada and every other country that signs on to this has to report back to the UN.
That's exactly right. This is about inventory and control. And you know, globalization is the standardization of systems. So this requires uniformity in all systems, whether it's education, law enforcement, government, energy, all have to be harmonized, all laws. And that means more inventory and control of you. That's what the plan is about.
All right, so that includes things like, we've got about 30 seconds left, Codex, I can never say it, Codex Amelioratus.
Elementarius.
Codex
Elementarius.
That is another UN plan that you say is part of this. It is a real thing as well, and that's standardizing our food, our vitamins, everything.
That's right. Yes, it's all over. You'll see it, that Bill C-30. That is Agenda 21. This is what it looks like.
Bill C-30. Wow.
Yes.
Rosa, good talking to you again, and we'll have you back on. Thanks so much for all the work that you do and for keeping an eye on Canada from your perch in California. All the best.
Thank you.
All right. Well, folks, I've been saying forever we need to get out of the UN. We need to drop the United Nations system. And people will say, this isn't real. Look, I've got the report from the UN here. You can do a search. You can do your own search on the Government of Canada website. 47,900 references to Agenda 21, 181,000 references to sustainable development. It's real, it's there. The plan to have the UN determine what our protein content in our beef or what our vitamins are, that is there as well. You can find out more, including Behind the Green Mask, the book by Rosa Koire at the Lily's Pad bookstore.
Behind the Green Mask. Sounds like a good book. Done with that. Now, we can we put the idea that we're overpopulated to rest? Can we put that idea to rest? That we're not overpopulated? They just want the land. They want to make sure they put everybody in a location where they're easily controllable so they can own everything. They don't love the deer. They don't love the bunnies. They're not trying to create ecosystems. They just want to control the damn world, which is why they kept those 1,000 patents hidden from everybody. I think we need to put that one to bed, to rest. But it feeds in, like I say, with 5G and the same people that's putting pesticide every damn you got every child in America pissing out the same 11 popular pesticides. And we're going to ask them to protect our environment. It's the craziest thing. It's the crazy, but hey, listen, we're going to do an impeachment. It's going to help everything. Anyway, good morning, Forbearance Bear. Welcome back here in Oz. Nice to catch you again tonight. Okay, I didn't know it was tonight. Where you at? Agenda 2130 is another name for world domination. They use neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, to make up innocent-sounding words for evil. Absolutely, Forbearance Bear. Power words. I was in corporate America, we used to call them power words. They always had a few power words for us. But I think you look past the word and you look at the people. Right? Look past the word, look at the people, ask yourself if people who are willing to genocide 20 million people in Yemen are good people to make nice, smart cities for us. And I think that answer is no. I think that answer is no. But that's just me. That's just me. And you know what? And outside of the fact that 5G is a killer because 4G killed and 3G, outside of that fact, just the simple fact that the people who are killing people want to do something, the answer should really be no. I mean, just on a principle level alone, right? You know, it's cheering the new psychopath. That's got to stop being a thing. I don't know why that's so popular with people. Anyway, air, water, food, shelter, in that order. Everything else will be a bonus. Well, right, Jonathan, because they're taking everybody's sovereignty, right? And y'all get that in France more than anybody else. They're stealing everybody's sovereignty. The bourgeoisie, the cabal, the people who run everything. There's no P in that. I put a P in that. I don't know. It's cabal. They run everything. They're a mafia. There's no politician that has any power. And I like how she explained it, because she explained the bureaucracy, right? And this goes back to the stuff I used to talk about with Tom Woods, right? Tom Woods, if you don't follow him, you should follow him. But he kind of explains how things are done with the deep state. I don't know why we even get into these discussions anymore on threads. But people are like, but there is no deep state. People, there's been a deep state since Napoleon, okay? There's always quiet people who stay in power in between the kings and lords, right? They just had long robes back then. Now you just don't see them on TV, but they stay in power. And that's what these bureaucracies are for. They make more decisions than your government. So half the time your government doesn't even know. You can keep electing presidents all you want. You can keep electing politicians all you want. But has any president changed what the DEA does? No. Has any president changed what the ATF does? No. They have rules and guidelines at the top, but you might get somebody in there crazy enough to do something like give people back their sovereignty, and what'll happen? 8 years later, 4 years later, they'll put somebody else in, they'll take it right back. Why? Because profit decides. This is a worldwide agenda to get everybody to get on the back of a truck. Because too many of y'all and the guy driving the truck, they got plenty of room in the cab. All they got they probably in there listening to music. They probably got fuzzy dice in there dancing, drinking stuff, driving out in the middle of the desert. We all the dummies on the back. The earth is not overpopulated. People were overstimulated. That's all we are. We have too many hoarders. Please stop clapping for the hoarders. That's all we got to do. Manufacture consent. Somebody said that's what we do. We consent to all of this, and so they do it. Say the world is so evil and wrong. Not really. The world actually is the way it's supposed to be. This is the intellect of most people. This is the consciousness that we got going on. That's why I say the world is perfect. The world's perfect. People consent to it. It's not a bad. These people, well, some of them might have been forced to get on the back, but they're all on the back. They consent to it. They could all jump the driver and take the truck. They all couldn't ride on the truck, but they sure could take the truck. Same thing with us. There's more of us than them. We've just chosen at this point in time to keep things the way that they are. The minute that we evolve out of that consciousness, then we can do something about it. No one owns their land. Ooh, even if they paid it off of their mortgage. But see, Beaufont, the problem is, this is your problem, man. This is what's wrong with you. I try to tell you what's wrong with you every day outside of your okra memes. Is you read books. You shouldn't read books. They tell you evil things. Of course I own my land. I have the deed. And it's like, no, you literally don't own land. Nobody in America owns land. They own the land. And I think the Beaufont, that actually goes back to this. Like, this was always their plan. Like, oh, we need you guys to get on the boat, going over there and kill a bunch of Native American pagans and bring them Christianity. Then we're going to give you the land. They had no intention of doing that. Had no intention. Because right now, there's not one American that owns their land. And when you die, they do everything they can to take it back from you living on it. Even you don't even own it. It goes right back to the bank. What happens when you die? You can't pay your bills. Go to the bank. And that's the funny thing, because the banks print the money. That's the most hilarious part. Money is a fallacy. It literally does not exist. And then you have people yelling and screaming, well, you know, we're going to move to Bitcoin. We're going to digitalize currency, get rid of cash. That's going to fix everything. No, idiot, that's going to make it easier. That's literally, it means you don't have an audit trail. That's all it means. That's a bad idea. They can literally delete people from existence. They can kick you out the city because they get you in the city with that whole Agenda 21, 2030, whatever you want to call it, and artificial scarcity. And so you're an obstinate person. I don't know. Whatever the obstinate, Courtney, she's one of the obstinate people. Say you're obstinate. And they, you know, you posting pictures and stuff on the internet that they don't like. You're saying things against your corporate overlords. They could literally delete you from existence and kick you out the city. They have 5G, first of all. So they know where you're going. They know what you're doing, who you're doing it with, why you're doing it, where you're doing it. They got all your devices. They got the MAC address. They can shut everything down anytime they want to. And then they can just press a button and say, Courtney doesn't exist anymore. And Courtney's gone. Remove all the money from your bank account. You could work for 80 years to earn that money, and you don't exist. You don't exist. You literally can't get on the bus because you don't have your card, you don't have your chip, your RFID chip. You thought that was 666 and devil come again. And you can't, they literally could delete you from existence, and it just requires you die. And we do that today. We don't do it highly efficient, right? Because you got people spread all around. It's too hard to do it now. When they get 5G, get everybody in the city, they can do it anytime they want. Money is a fallacy. People, the only thing they don't want you to do is turn away from capital. That's the only thing they don't want you to do. Oh, no, there's nothing they don't want. They don't want you talking. They don't want you talking to each other. Look at what the cabal that runs everything wants, and look at what they censor, and do everything they censor. That's what you do. You got to do the exact, because we don't know who these people are. We don't know who they are. We don't know where they are. We know that they invented capital and they control everybody. Everything else is up for an option in terms of what it is. Eminent domain, that's right, Laura. They claim they own everything. Everything. And this is the craziest thing. A lot of my Patriot friends, when Trump was running, and I said, what are they going to do when the pipeline conversation comes up? Because you're supposed to be a patriot, supposed to believe that people own their land, not government, because the federal government, United States Corporation, 1870, want to see what happens. And as soon as Trump said, as soon as he said the pipeline gonna bring jobs, gonna bring some more slavery to make sure y'all have plenty of cotton to pick, everybody jumped around for him like, what just happened to my Patriot friends? Like, really? But y'all know that that's Donald Trump though, right? Honestly, like, I don't hate the guy, I don't love the guy, I think he's just a guy, but you know that's Donald Trump. You know he's the one that's dancing in the Ghostbuster video, right? He just said that Americans don't have eminent domain, that y'all don't own, that they have eminent domain, and you don't own any land, and you just went for it. Like, yeah, the oil companies, they can put a pipeline anytime they want to. And I'm just like, oh my God, the end of the world is coming. Oh, but that brings me to the Philippines, right? Well, no, not to the Philippines, not just yet. So then what the next thing was 5G. He said 6G was a good thing, so now you got to explain to people, no, 5G murders people. 6G would murder everybody. 6G, if 5G is 60, is a jump from 4.2 gigahertz to 60 gigahertz. 6G is that jump, that's what's that, 320 gigahertz, if I did my math right? That'll fry you on the wire. That, as soon as they turn that thing on. And then the whole Philippine thing happened yesterday. I thought that was good news. You can watch the Philippine news if y'all want. The Philippines said they ain't sick of y'all, they ain't tired of y'all, they ain't tore your papers up. They broke the Defense Act with America. They said, oh, hell no. What's his name? Duterte? Duterte, gonna do you dirty. He done took the papers, ripped it up, said, America, y'all can get the hell out. And so he said that y'all don't have to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. So 180 days, I think, America has. And I said, well, that's wrong, because it's not America. Actually, it's the United States Corporation. He said, you got 180 days, United States Incorporation, to get the hell out of my country. And a great thing. I think it's a great thing. I think it's going to be one of the most phenomenal things for the people. The Philippines, I'm with y'all today. Philippines, good job, good job. You see, but that's bad. First of all, the United States corporation isn't you. It's got nothing to do with you. You are a slave on their plantation. They're owned by Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and 13 families. People say 100, 200. I don't know how many it is. Doesn't really matter. It's not you. It has nothing to do with you. But America, it's not America. It has nothing to do with America. America's a republic. It was closed up in 1871 and then pushed the republic down in a sewer somewhere. You literally have a corporation you consent to called the United States Incorporation, and you are an employee. You're not even an employee, are you? We're not employees. We're not even staff. We're commodity. Our birth certificate makes us, we're like goo. We're goo, and we're just good enough goo to keep around till they had the robots. So it's a good thing for the Philippines. So yeah, but they went to China. First of all, I don't have an issue with China. I think Chinese women are some of the most pretty people on the planet. Chinese people, beautiful people. They're controlled by people. Would see them in the airport, then might want to check their passport. Just just a little bit. Where you been? Hey, brother, how you doing? You the fist bump. Where you come from? Oh, Alabama. Okay, all right, brother. All right, yeah. I just got here from China. Oh, you did, That's not racism. It's not discrimination. It's you need to keep your viruses with you, and I'm gonna keep my viruses with me. That's all that's called. You don't go shake hands with somebody with snot hanging out their mouth, coughing and sneezing, and you're on an airplane, and somebody coughing behind you, turn the air on. That's called being safe. So I think it was a good idea. So China gave him $42 billion, I think it was. If I'm not mistaken, $24 billion. At that level, it doesn't even matter. They're going to tap them into the Silk Road. I think it's a great, phenomenal thing. Why? Because a lot of my friends come from the Philippines. Guess what? It is an S-hole country. I'm sorry, it is. It's just like Haiti. Haiti, they eat mud cookies and mud cakes, and when he said it was true, and you were stupid, and so you fought it. Instead, you said, yes, it is an S-hole country. Why is it? And then you could have looked into the Clinton Foundation, did your homework, and you would know why. But you didn't do that. You were just mad at the guy, and you attacked him. But it is an S-hole country. Why? Because we destroyed it. We've colonized it through debt. And before it wasn't us, it was the United States Incorporated. But before it was them, it was Spain or Italy. I don't know who it was. They destroyed the country. So they've spent this amount of time just oppressing and keeping the boot on people's necks. So I think it's a great thing. Hopefully Duterte don't do his people dirty and they let them be tied into the Silk Road, because that's what it was all about, was tying them into the Silk Road, the new Silk Road. And so if they do that, all of the talented people in the Philippines can sell their products all over Europe. It would be a phenomenal thing. They lift themselves up by the bootstrap. They're doing the right thing. So good luck to the Philippines. I like to do that as well. Can I tear up my defense back with America? With the United States Corporation. I love America. United States Corporation, not so much. It's not a government. It's a corporation pretending to be a government. You can elect people all you want, and they're still staff, and they're still beholden to corporations and banks and whoever sits on the board. And they say, oh, well, the president sits on the board. The president doesn't sit on the board. There has never been a United States president that sat on the board of the United States Corporation. It doesn't work that way. It would be nice if it did, but it doesn't work that way. I know the riches, and the riches do not give poor people control of any damn thing. They don't even give you control of your yard. You know that? You can't even spray what you want in your yard. You can't even put mint in your yard if you want. You can't even put a fern in your front yard. Your grass has to be cut before it gets to be 7 inches. Do you actually think they would let you elect? They give you election powers over who they're using as their muscle around the world as the world's security guard for the banks. And you think they're gonna give you say in that? You can't even grow your grass. You don't even own your land. You can't even put a greenhouse in your backyard if you want to. You can't even drive a car if you want. You can't even drive a car without a seatbelt. And the rich people who made all that, to own all your resources, they're gonna give you the ability to change the government to hey, listen. Well, but people love their fantasy. They love their fairy tales. But adults got their fairy tales. And who am I to judge? I watch Stargate. I'm watching Star Trek right now. I'm watching my old shows. I got my fantasy one I want to check out. But the difference in my fantasies, though, they don't murder people. They don't murder people, which is why I know it's about to be a tough time. We're about to have a tough time online. It's time to lose some friends. I love y'all, but the reality is you're posting war criminals, and you need to stop. Right? You're posting people that murders people, and you need to stop. Every now and then you might catch me post a video by, who was the serial killer? Charles Manson. Why? Because he said some deep things. And I agree that your Bernie Sanders and your Donald Trumps and your Obamas and your your Bidens, and I know they say deep things every now and then. Your Mays and Merkels and these people, but they're killers. They're killers. That's real talk. And they ain't killed anywhere near the amount of people Charles Manson did. Because Charles Manson, he didn't kill one person, did he? He didn't kill one. He ordered the killing, or he set up the kill situation. Your politicians, they just signing bills all the time. Send the gun, send the tank, send the bomb, send some nukes, send what, drop the bomb. How many people do your criminals kill per day? So, you know what I like to do? I like to put myself in other people's shoes. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was a true blue apple pie, baseball, football, basketball American when 9/11 happened. I was pissed. Somebody got to pay. Somebody, I believed everything my government told me. I was pissed. Boy, when I saw them people running, yelling, dancing, and singing, and stomping on the American flag and burning it, I was raised a Boy Scout. I was an ROT, Civil Air Patrol, and they just dancing on the flag, burn like, yay, somebody touched America. Like you posting Bernie Sanders on the internet. Like you were posting Tulsi on the internet. Damn, Tulsi fine as hell. Anyway, stop it. I don't watch nothing she posts. I don't watch any of her speeches. Because her eyes, she got pretty eyes, and that's not fair. Y'all can't be picking pretty politicians. That's a bad idea. But you post these people who drop bombs on their nations, and you don't think they take it the same way you took 9/11 people dancing on your flag. You're literally posting people who send troops to their land to murder them. You're posting people who agree to drop 200 bombs a day. 200? No. I think I said that wrong. Is it 200 drone strikes a day? So we don't have any bombs. One drone can shoot a lot of bombs every single day. And you're posting that you want these people to keep ruling the world. In fact, you want them to have more power. All they had was a Senate position or a Congress position, and you want them to actually, how would you feel if somebody murdered your daughter? Somebody posted them on the internet. Somebody dropped a bomb on your cousin, and they're posting it on the internet. You can't even post pictures of Charles Manson, but you got these people posting these psychopaths for 2020. I don't know. I think you need to put yourself in other people's shoes. I think you really do. People, they don't hate America for our freedoms, Joe. It's not our freedom. It's our foolishness. That's why they hate us. We lack sentience. We're struggling with this concept of being human beings. The earth is not overpopulated. We're overstipulated. We have too many hoarders. We don't have enough people who humane. That's what we need. We need more humans. We don't need less. We need more humane humans, and a hell of a lot hoarders and those who are cheering them, staff for this banking cabal. Anyway, playing devil's advocate. Yay, Joe, let's play devil's advocate. Without 3G, 4G, and 5G, how would that affect the flow of information and ideas that would otherwise be squashed by governments? Great question. Joanne, I love Joanne. Girl, I don't even know you. God, I love you to death. See, I like when people play devil's advocate. Because I don't agree with me. People, if you disagree with me, say you disagree with me. Ain't gonna change my love for you, and I ain't gonna unfriend you, and I ain't gonna block you. Okay, I appreciate the devil's advocate. Well, Joanne, that's an interesting question. Where would we be if it weren't for 4G, 5G, and 6G? Well, I'll go back to Tesla, and I would say that if we back then allowed him to do some of the things he wanted to do, we wouldn't have the world that we have today. It would look completely different, and we probably wouldn't have these problems. We'd have responsible technology. My issue with 3G, 4G, and 5G is that it kills people. And that's the end of the discussion for me. So do I like using these tools? Can we help people? Absolutely. There's a lot of people we can help because we're connected to the whole world. And while we have them, we should use it. But we shouldn't roll out the next version that's going to kill more people. You see what I'm saying? Like I get that we are where we are, and most of us had nothing to do with that. But we take the tools that we have and we do wise, intellectual, smart, sentient things with the technology we have, or we let them continue on with this plan for control and domination of the human population. I think that ends worse than us stopping where we are today, saying, hey, listen, we got it with 4G, we're hurting people, let's be honest with it, let's publish the research. Nobody should live within a mile of one of these towers or half a mile or whatever it is, because we find out we published 1,000 feet and those people got cancer. Let the doctors talk. We shut up, let the doctors talk. That's what's important to me. is professionals, right? We started having honest conversations about shots that they're forcing on people when the professionals started questioning it. And so the same thing with the 3G, 4G is let those doctors start talking, telling people about the diseases that have been caused by this, and be honest and open. So I'm all for open source society. I'm a technology person, Joanne. I love technology. We need to run forward as fast as we can, but we need to make sure that people in power use those tools to get rid of human suffering first, and then make life better, right? Like first we got to get rid of suffering, and we can't seem to do that. We have to be a one world human race. And sometimes I say that and people think I'm talking about governing. I'm not talking about governing. We need to evolve out of this idea that I'm right and you need to do what I say because I'm righter than you. We need to get rid of these narcissistic, sociopathic ideas, which is what politics is. Take care of people who have the worst needs. We have amazing technology. We do not use it the correct way. So 4G, if we let Tesla go his direction, who knows what we might have had? We might have had safe technology. It might have been 4P. We would have been stuck on G. We might have made it to F. What comes after G? H? We might have been on H. We might have been 4Z. We might have had safe technology. But the thing is, we don't have an open source world. Right? So on to solutions, right? No secrets in government, no secrets in corporations. We're part of a human race. We're not a part of a government structure or system. We're not robots or mechanics. We are, or mechanisms. We are biological, and we gotta first stand for our species. Number one, are all the kids eating, right? So I think we can use the tools we have because they're already deployed to fix the world the way it should be, which is sovereignty for human beings and no sovereignty for nothing else. You don't get to have sovereignty if you're a system in a government. People hit me on the animals. What about the animals? You don't have to worry about the animals right now because we don't give a damn about the babies. Okay? We need to get people to give a damn about the babies first. Or ain't nobody gonna care about a whale. We've seen that in history. Get people to discover some sentience for these children first. If no one cares that the people in Yemen are being starved, pregnant women starved into abortions. It's the weirdest thing because they fight abortions over here. They don't give two damns about abortions. Their government paying and helping Saudi Arabia to starve up abortions over there and the children. We got to get people to care about people. If we can do that, then we can talk about animals. But the first step is sovereignty and sentience. We own stuff, they own us. Many people seem to like that trade-off. I don't think they like the trade-off, Chris. I think that people are indoctrinated to not know any better. I think that's what it is. It's like being born a slave. If you're born into a slave plantation, you think this is the best that you can do. You think this is how the world works. Which is why what Joanne said earlier is we got to use these tools to do what we can. That's all we can do. All we can do is use these tools to talk to people. And if we can get enough people to realize that there's a better world we can build, that there's a damn UFO flying around. I keep going back to it, Chris. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. It's just, why are we fighting over aliens? Like, it's an insignificant topic. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think. Is it aliens or not? Who cares? There is a free energy device that's flying around your damn planet that every government's admitted up to. And finally, this year, the American government's admitted up to it too. Who's flying that ship? And why aren't we using that free energy? To help people. Right? Well, it's because they like domination. How does everyone deal with their own reality? Jonathan, you have to deal with your own reality, right? I have to deal with mine. You got to deal with yours. I don't know how to help Jonathan deal with Jonathan's reality. In my reality, I do my research. I try to look at what's real. I utilize common sense. I know that the mainstream media is always lying to me. I know the politicians always got a job to do, which is lying. And I try to make it sustainable. Everyone is in their own little reality. Everybody got one of these noggin things. And in that noggin, you got your own little world. And so we have to, we share, but we can't force other people to live our reality, is what I want to say. We try to force other people to live our reality because we're little narcissistic, sociopathic bastards because we're raised to be. And we need to stop. Let other people have their reality and understand you really don't know what anybody else is ever going through. Trade versus regime change. Absolutely, Jane. We need to trade more. We need to trade food first, though. Jane, I'll tell you something. I'm against global trade. I think it's a bad idea. I don't think millionaires need to become billionaires and billionaires zillionaires by putting a billion things on a barge and sending it somewhere. I think if people need food, we trade food. I think we need to trade technology the most. I think we need to share. We need to do all those things that Yeshua Christ told everybody to do that we can't seem to stop fighting over. It's like we were watching a great, he was a good brother. We were doing a watch party this morning. He was talking about religion. And he was Bible slashing. He wasn't inaccurate. He was saying truthful things. But we sometimes go too far down the slashing the Bible thing. The Bible actually doesn't exist, right? You know, I think when you research enough, you'll realize that it's many texts. It's not a text. It's a lot of texts. In fact, a very small amount of the millions of texts that were in the Library of Alexandria and the ones that the pyramids that the Egyptians had. And they put it together in a collection. But the most significant book or text in that multiple text thing they call the Bible are the Gospels, right? You had this guy named Yeshua Christ. They changed his name later to Jesus because they were Greeks and they just wanted to social appropriate. He said, feed the world. He said, love the world. He said, clothe the world and house the world. We now, for the first time, we can feed the world, we can clothe the world, we can house the world, and nobody's got to pay. And nobody has to pay taxes to do it. We literally print the money and we have all the technology to take care of everybody. That's how I know who Christians are. I'm really not really affiliated there. Like I said, Christ is my teacher. I believe he taught some things that we have to do. But that's what that's what being Christ-like is like. Anything else is just being king-like or scribe-like or corporation-like or bank-like or government-like. There are multiple religions within Christianity, and very few of them have anything to do with Christ. We can take care of everybody and we're not. So that's how I know Satan runs the world, whatever Satan is. It's reverse engineered, HBS and S&M exercise just the same. Sita's talking about the UFO, and that's the interesting thing about the UFO there, Sita. Is that now that all the world's governments admit that these things are flying around, and you had whistleblowers going back to the 60s, 50s, telling us that we've got crap or we're reverse engineering. This seems like they're pretty vindicated to me, but you can't get people to talk about it because the news tells them what to talk about. To me, there's no more important topic that you don't have to go to work today. We have the free energy and the robots and the automation to do 80% of the jobs on the planet. So now human beings can go back to doing important things. All right. I was in shock that everybody turned warmonger over here. Yes, Lori, they did. And was I in shock? Were y'all in shock when your friends started cheering for psychopaths? It didn't shock me because I've seen this before. But it bothered me when you finally explain to them, like, these people kill people. You get that, right? Like, I understand that you were taught to vote. I understand you were taught to pick a politician, a political party, but you get that these people murder people, right? And you can't do that. So I wasn't, Lori, but for me, it shook me up because I like to put myself in other people's shoes, right? And it shook me up a little bit when I asked the question, if you get in a car accident and you accidentally kill somebody's baby, what will the rest of your life be like? It'll probably change. Most people, if you have any little bit of consciousness in you, any little bit of a conscience, it'll bother you because you think about that little baby. By the time that they'd have been 5, but I wonder what they were doing when they were 5 years old. By the time they were 10, I wonder, gosh, if I weren't texting and driving, if I weren't drinking and driving, where'd they be? When it's time for them to go to college, if I was just paying attention, damn it, it'll change the rest of your life because I've seen it. These politicians make laws every single day and sign their signature to murder children all day long, dropping buildings on babies all day long, and they don't wink, they don't flinch. And that's why I'm saying that I know these people are psychopaths. Now, mind you, they were indoctrinated into it, but they're still psychopathic because nobody I know has the power to like murder someone, get paid to do it, take a lobbyist check for it. and step and fetch like nothing ever happened, just making a new campaign, going to dinner, dancing on TV, and writing more laws. Nobody I know has that psychopathic power. So it's just weird that people cheer on people like that. And I think that's what bothers me the most, is when you really ask that question, you realize that most people around you are stupid, but they're not psychopathic. They're in support of psychopaths, but they're not psychopaths. And if they actually require the people they support, and I'm not saying vote, I'm not saying not to vote. That's not my business what you do. I'm just saying that when you're going to support something, you need to make sure it's not a psychopathic effort. If you're going to send money to a daycare, you want to make sure they're not pedophiles hurting people. And that's another thing, the whole pedophile thing. Like, y'all can stop with the whole you're fighting pedophilia and you're cheering war. You're not actually, what is worse, pedophilia or war? Like, really ask that simple question. What is worse? Some guy that's hurt 20 kids, or a group of people, call it a political party, that bombs 20,000 kids? Well, who's worse? And doesn't all pedophilia come out of war, and that where they get all the kids from for the sex trafficking? Didn't we realize that? So it's just the weirdest thing. I don't think people think about stuff like that. My question about dealing with reality was to share our experiences and perceptions and attitude that allow us to participate in our synergy here. Well, right, yeah. Well, we have to share our realities if that's what you're saying. I mean, you know, you're sharing yours, right? You're fighting against the bourgeoisie, and you share it on a regular basis, and that's important. In fact, Jonathan, he went to prison fighting his fight. You know, you're sharing your reality, and that's what 3G, 4G, 5. Well, can we stop at 4? I don't want to go that far. That's what we can utilize their systems for, is showing the truthful things. And so the yellow vest protests that are happening are only coming out on 4G. You know, we can use their powers against them, and that's what we need to do. Yes, indeed, the ruling class with their governments is the most murderous entity on earth ever. Rebecca, since the beginning of time, nobody's come close. Not the Huns, not Mao, not Hitler. Nobody's come close to the level of murder that's happening right now. Everything Hitler did has been completely legalized by these Democrats and Republicans. And we need to process that we are the Fourth Reich. And what are we going to do about it? You know, to me, that's not dark. It's just saying what's truthful, and then where do we go from here? We murder more people than malaria. What are we going to do about it? Well, we need to make a vaccine for ourselves. That's the first thing we need to do. And I think it does come from sharing your reality and taking in the reality of people around the world. You don't like China, we got to beat China. Well, talk to somebody in China and find out if you really got to beat China, or they were just people born over there. They were put in conflict with you by a bank. You were born over here. You were put in conflict with them by a bank who has a corporation called a government. I am in Australia. I want U.S. military bases out. Jane, there is no U.S. military base that should be in Australia. It is, first of all, everybody in your country, all the soldiers, all the American soldiers, they're there on treasonous orders. It's treason. They're not allowed to be there. They signed up to defend America, and there's no defense of America actually happening in Australia, and never has. It is treason, literally, but they get away with it because they're a corporation. So every American, you know, Jane, you need to explain to them about 1871, when their republic was pushed into the darkness, and everybody consented to the United States Corporation, all caps, right? That's why they don't follow the Constitution. It's not really treason for them because they're a corporation. Corporations can't commit treason. They do anything they want to do, and they do everything that makes profit. And so, Jane, Australia is literally under an occupation, you know. But a good thing is, I think, like with the Philippines, they're starting to kick them out, and they should. Why? Because the troops should come home. The troops have no business over there. Anything that reverses treasonous actions are a great thing. American kids need to be here, not there. That's an invasion. I live in the U.S., and I want the U.S. bases. Rebecca lives in the U.S. She wants the U.S. bases out. So do I, Rebecca. I do too. You know what? We don't need this anymore. Right? People in ghettos will say it too. I live in the ghetto, and I don't want the criminal elements here, gangs, right? We know we can fix it. You know, step one is we have to get rid of this idea of violent solutions, right? If you don't solve things with violence at work, why would you vote for somebody that solves things with violence in Washington? How does that make any sense? You don't get upset and go to work and beat somebody up because you didn't like how they did the TPS reports. So why would you vote for a government that's making more tanks, bombs, nukes, and deploying them around the world, right? Why don't you force your government to be as intelligent as you? How about that? You got to use your intelligence to go to work and solve problems. What if you would only support politicians who would do the same thing? I'm not sure that would change anything because we're so deep into this space. I think that we do need mass dissent at this point in time. But yeah, I am forced to solve problems by using my brain, and it makes me smarter and smarter and smarter. And I become more of an intellectual. I learn how to solve problems like an adult instead of government that's like a child. And that's what happens to your government when you give the Pentagon, because then it can murder people to solve problems instead of actually talk to people and negotiate with people. You literally would force your government to become more sentient and more intelligent if you took away its ability to kill people it disagreed with. You know, but those, Rebecca, are things called solutions, and solutions don't sell in newspapers. Good morning, Katya. Let me see. 5G is totally different from 4. Thank you. Exactly, Jennifer. And that's the point I'm trying to make to people. 5G is for generation, not gigahertz. I thought it was gigahertz, to be honest with you, Jennifer. I thought it was gigahertz. I was like, that make no damn sense. How we going from 4 gigahertz to 5 gigahertz? No, they call it generation to fool people. They're literally jumping up to 60. They're going to kill a lot of people with that. All right, Dr. Lipton said, if your body isn't under stress, you can walk through 5G. Desiree. While I respect Dr. Lipton, and I think he might be right, no, I take that back. I know he's right. I know he's right, Desiree. He's right. He's absolutely right. You can walk through 5G if your body is performing at 100%. I agree with it. I agree. You know, we have that show, again, the Stan Lee show, where you got superhumans, where people use mind over matter, placebo effect, an immune system that's just firing on all cylinders. You're not getting sick, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, because if 5G is creating, you know, DNA damage and cancerous cells, your cytotoxic T cells are beating it down. When you're creating problems, we know we have the placebo effect. It's mind over matter. You're literally changing your body to do that. The only problem with that, Desiree, is I'm not a Jedi. That's the only problem. So I agree with him. I think you can. Theoretically, I know that there are people who can probably walk on water and fly, and telekinesis is a thing because DARPA study with the U.S. All these things are things. I just don't have that ability. I'm not sure I know anybody who does. Right? I think that, you know, he's speaking probably from a theoretical perspective. I can hold babies and then cough in my face and I don't get sick. And that seems like a superpower, and it's really not. I just drink my smoothies. My immune system is actually working, so I don't get symptoms when people cough in my face. You know, but you put a cocoa virus baby in my face, I might get sick. You know, and so I don't think it's a superpower, but I think he's speaking from a theoretical perspective, and I agree with him. I just don't know anybody who's at that level. I'm at the biological level where I can fight off the common cold and not get any symptoms. I'm probably not at the cocoa virus level, so I'm not even going to risk that. It's just better not to hold the baby with the cocoa virus. Let them blow some snot, put some snot in your face. It's better just not to have the 5G. Because the other side of it, even if I could walk through 5G, and I don't even know the context in which you said it, other people can't. Right? Even if I could, other people can't. And so, because we got people with debilitated immune systems and they don't even know like how to eat food or what food to eat, you know, we can't roll out things that's gonna kill our neighbors. It's a bad idea, all the way around. I promise not to kill people, brotherly Ron G. I promise not to kill people. That would be a great promise, Ron. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see, but they promised similar. Like, didn't Obama do that? He ran on the anti-war platform, and I think Trump did too. But they get in office, and I think they sit them down. They kind of explain to them how the world works. I don't think presidents even know. I think they go into this and they think they're going to get in there and make America great again, fight Washington. I think they have no idea the powers that they face going into those offices. So, yeah. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Whoa. I know I'm not reading that. Let me see. I don't agree with low vibe 3D unreality hologram. I'm glad for that paradigm to fade away. I'm not sure what we're talking about, Susan, but government shouldn't have holograms. They shouldn't have the ability to create false realities. They shouldn't own media. They shouldn't be able to control people. If that's the kind of hologram you're talking about, like at a principal level, we need the real world. We need to see the real world. Like Brother Jonathan was mentioning, reality. We need to see reality so we can make good decisions. People who can't see reality, they make horrible decisions. Like we were talking about the other day, emotion. You never make a decision when you're emotional. Why? Because you can't see what's real. You can only feel your emotions at that point in time. You step away, then make a decision. You can't make a decision for the rural areas and you grew up in the ghetto. You can't make decisions for the ghetto and you grew up in the rural areas. It's a narcissistic, sociopathic idea that you can make decisions for other people. So yeah, there is that. We've all become psychologists in the psychological warfare. We to a degree, Jonathan, we got to understand the principles of it. Otherwise, we won't know when we're getting played. Absolutely. Must be something wrong with me because I never feel like Gerard is telling me what to do. Oh yeah, well Sharon, yeah, because I don't care what people do. I would if Sharon did what I told her to do, Sharon wouldn't be Sharon. You Sharon Law, you wouldn't be Sharon Law. You'd be Sharon Gerardish Lobbish something, and that's a monster. You don't want that. I throw as much as I can out there, say, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. This is probably what we should do, and whatever you do, I'm good with. You know, that's why I say I don't get upset. Like wherever we are, this is where we're supposed to be. And if we got enough of what it takes, we won't go extinct. If we don't, then we go extinct, and I'm fine either way. I'm a part of nature. I'm on nature's side. I love the monkeys, but not all the monkeys supposed to make it. We got somebody else lining up. We got the octopus. Isn't it octopus? Octopuses are lining up. You got orangutans using saws now. Have you seen that video? You know, you've got other species ready to take over. The chimps, we have 98% chimps. If we can't get it, we can't get it. So I'm fine with everybody. I don't fight with the atheists. I don't fight with the Christians. I don't fight with the Muslims. Bernie people could vote for Bernie. If you feel that you're supposed to vote for Bernie, then you should be voting for Bernie. That's how I get down. If you feel that you're supposed to be voting for Trump, then you should be voting for Trump. You know, all I ask people to do is take in all the data you can, do all the research you can, and try to make good decisions based on as much perspectives around you as you can do. But if I try to force you to do what I do, then I break you. Then that's like a Gerardian religion. Who started that, Rebecca? That's just a mess. We don't need a Gerardian religion. We don't need that. We don't need leaders. We don't need followers. We need everybody to give each other the respect enough to make good decisions and just have discourse and share information. That's how we get down here. I appreciate that, Sharon. I've never told you what to do because that'll ruin you. That'll break you because you'll stop eating okra and stuff. You might get sick. Okra might work in some people's bodies. It just doesn't work in mine. And I don't tell other people what to do because I don't like to be told what to do neither. I have a problem with authority since the beginning. How are you going to make the world worthy of our children today? Oh, Kevin. Whew. Well, you know what? It's funny you asked me that, and it's like, dang, that's a whole lot we got to do. Actually, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. Actually, it's very easy. How do we make the world worthy of children? We just give them the freedom slugs give their children, right? We give them the freedom mosquitoes give their children. You know, try to make things a little better for them than was for us. We got all the technology. We can free all these kids. I think kids need to go off and be free. I don't think they should be born into debt to other families because they have more jewels than what we had. And we can fix that system any day. It's a matter of coming together with people you don't like to do something that we're supposed to do for the next generation. You know, we can, once again, food, water, house, freedom. Give that to every child, which is what we could have done 40, 50 years ago. Children become beautiful things. And at that point, they can build the world that they need to build. But right now, they can't. They're going to be compelled to be doctors and lawyers and bankers and psychopaths and everything else that we push them into, the industries we push them into, like rape and gang violence and joining white nationalists. The problem isn't the kids. The problem is us. We're the adults. The problem is us. We can't blame the kids for nothing they do. So I think that's how we make the world worthy of them. Damn sure ain't no Agenda 21 because of overpopulation. We're not overpopulated. We're just stupid. No, we're not stupid. We're gullible. That's what it is. Taiwan refused the passengers from the ship because it turns out multiple passengers have tested positive coronavirus. Well, then that's a good thing, Megs. You don't want to let those people in your country. Not because they're those people, but because they're sick. They need to be on an island somewhere with getting a lot of love. 3 days after 9/11, Bush telling Americans to go shopping. Outrageous, but I'm glad he did it, Rebecca. I'm glad he did it because he made it obvious what we're not supposed to do. Right? If he didn't say anything, I'd be clueless, Rebecca. Like, damn it, what do we do? How do we fight the system? He said, go shopping, and you know exactly what you're supposed to do. You need to make some things and buy some things local, repair some things, go back to being what your grandparents told you to be, which is sustainable, live within your own means, and be smart, wise, learn to do things. All the infrastructure we're dependent upon has broken us. So I'm glad Bush said that. He didn't lie, he told the truth. I know a man who did that. He became an alcoholic. Yeah, what, Christine? Alcoholics, being dependent on anything is a bad idea. Oh, did y'all hear about the pineal gland? Did you know that they confirmed it? They confirmed the pineal gland manufactures DMT. I didn't know that. They confirmed that. That's huge. That means the Egyptians were right about the third eye. Powerful, deep stuff is happening in our world right now. Lots of laughter. Satan was the most honest in the Bible, while God is a psychopath. But you know what, Harley? You know what that could be? Because that's what the brother was talking about this morning, how God is a psychopath. I use my brain, and I understand that people have modified those scriptures since the beginning of time. So whatever God was, we don't know. We weren't told, and somebody modified it to fit their culture, like they changed the names to fit their cultures. I focus on the New Testament. The Old Testament's too old. It's too old. It's too old, Harley. It's just way too old, and things have been modified. You know, I like the Gospels. Love everybody, heal everybody, give them their health care, take care of, not disease management, but actually health care, and put them before you. Give them the shirt off your back, and just stop there. I don't go any beyond that, because Harley, you get to the Old Testament, I think you're talking about psychopathic aliens or multi-dimensional people or humans from the future. You're talking about something that ain't human. I know they saw something. They saw something back then. I just don't think that's God. I think whatever God is, it made all of this. And I'm fine if it's at the Planck length. I'm fine if it's quantum. I'm fine if it's microbiology or fungi all working together in a big, massive neural network we call the universe. I'm fine if it's all. I'm fine if it's a guy, a puff of smoke on a cloud. The bottom line is we're supposed to love each other, be sustainable, take care of each other. So what people believe is for them. I don't try to enrage people. I just look back and just say, you know what? Yeah, well, you know, murdering the world by flood is a bad idea. And that doesn't sound like something a God would do. I grew up in the church, but that does not sound like something a God that made it all would do. A creator that likes creations and create things that create things. That doesn't sound like actions of God. That sounds like the actions of a very powerful, technologically advanced species of people who decided to send an asteroid down and hit the water and cause cause a tsunami because they wanted to make slaves or something. I don't know what that is. All right, there we go. Boom, 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 boom. So I don't really get into too much of the religion stuff, Harley, because I don't know. We're a cargo cult, and we create cargo cults by just being introduced to the people of the Amazon. So and plus that's like one of the contentions that they keep the world broken up on. That's one of the reasons why we got a hump day, is you got people fighting over the gods and religions and things that they just don't know. I try as best I can to say things I don't know, and if I believe it, I just say that I believe it, but I will never take a belief in here, take it outside of my skin, and abuse my world with it or other people. Because what do I know? I don't know. Helpless should be protected by sentient beings, right? If we are sentient beings, Lori, that's what we do. If we're not sentient, then we cheer for bombs dropping. Last couple comments, then I'm gonna roll. Boom. Yes, I can do high voices when I need to. Like animals can sense fear. Oh yeah, they sense our elite sense our fear, Jack. They sense our fear. But you know, they don't have to sense it. At one point in time they had to sense it. Now they don't have to because they got 4G. They have learning software everywhere. Your phone's never cut off. Your laptop's never shut. They know who's scared. They know exactly who's scared. So I don't think they have to sense it anymore. Let me see. Women have to look at their fetus before an abortion. Ooh. Why not make politicians look at the people, the kids they kill, where the decisions and photos and videos of the aftermath? Yeah, absolutely, Kim. I think that would change a lot of it. I do. I think most leaders are just led astray like we are. And if they were allowed to see the chaos that they cause, like these soldiers coming back that are doing this committing 22 suicides a day, which is probably far beyond that. It's like we don't even know that statistic anymore because they're not running it. They don't want us to know. This is probably through the roof. Seeing the outcomes of your behavior, it does modify you. It does. Within inside everybody, even if you're a psychopath, I mean, you got to be pretty far down that spectrum to not be affected by a little thing with a little head that looks like you, with little eyes and little feet and little arms, and it's blown to bits on a decision you made on a bill you signed. I think it would. That's why they take these shows off of TV, Kim. One of my favorite shows, it was called Over There, and you can't find it anywhere. You can get clips from it on the internet, but you won't find it anywhere because it really went through what war was like. It was deep, it was powerful, and it was way back. I think this is when Bush was in office, and it showed you real war. It showed you things, and they said things they weren't supposed to. One of my favorite scenes in that show, it was a Christian dude. He was a U.S. soldier, and he was talking about the Muslims, right? And he got into it. Well, he was talking about the Muslims fighting on the other side, and he basically said to his compadre in the U.S. military, he's like, I understand you. Like, you're here to kill people. You're here because you just want to like shoot guns and stuff. He said, but my enemy, I understand. He's a brother. He's a believer. I understand him. I don't understand you. I understand, because warriors have a code. People have a code. And I think they just said too many deep things. Like, the only reason I'm opposing him is because I was born over there. If I were born here, I would be fighting like he is. He's a believer. He believes in his land. He believes in his country. He's not a terrorist. He's actually standing up for his land. And that was deep. But yeah, they don't show it to politicians. This is why Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post. Because most congressmen get their news from the Washington Post. And so I guarantee you he's going to get a lot more CIA contracts. He's going to get a lot more things happening because he can control the news that they get. Neighbors and friends babysitting for free. That's what we used to always do, Mags. We neighbors would take care of neighbors. If we can go back to that. Now people don't even know who their neighbors are, and the neighbors don't know them because they're so transient. We have to go back to that day. We got to build communities. And when you build communities, see, it's hard to turn you against people who you feel like are in your community. It's easy to turn you against a neighbor. They're just a neighbor. Oh, you don't even care. You can report them for their grass height. You can report them because they got chickens. You can like be a bastard to them. But if you feel they're in your community, then you're more on their side than anything else. You understand them. You understand why they do. You understand they got kids and they play the music a little loud at night. You don't call the police, you go knock on the door. When we start acting like we're sentient, grown adults doing mature things, solving our own problems, beautiful things happen. But, they're raising this next generation to run to the police with everything, run the government with everything. And I'm just like, so you're literally going to the people who are paid to roll out artificial scarcity and cause all the problems to solve the problems. Bad idea. Cyborg humans will be doing that, and they want to. I'm not sure where that was going, Christine. I'm way up in comments. I'm moving down fast as I can. Good morning, Tammy. Gerard, you don't know what I'm talking about. Nope, I have no idea what you're talking about, Susan. I'm way up in comments. I'm trying to move down. Good morning, Hosma. Looks like y'all having a great discussion anyway, with or without me. We all gonna die. We will go out in style. That's all we can do, Megs, is go out in style. We all gonna die. Just while you're here, try to be humane. Try to do something beautiful for people, beautiful people. Try to make people more beautiful. Try to fix the environment so we make, just try to make the earth a better place than how you found it. Try to make your family a better place than what you found it. We're playing those mind games together, breaking down barriers, planting seeds. John Lennon, that's what we have to do, is plant seeds and break down the barriers. That's the end. That's the only way the seeds are gonna bloom and flourish. We gotta break them down. I merely inform and bring the obvious. That's all you can do, Sita. And that's the beautiful thing about bringing the obvious, is you don't have to force anybody to believe it. All you got to do is say what's obvious and true, and the people who are sentient enough will process that, right? It's just like the politician and the baby example. You show the politician a picture of the baby under the building, dead. Politician, if they're capable, if they have ears, there's a scripture that says that. For those who have ears to hear, they'll hear it, they'll feel it, right? All you can do is put the information out there. The people who can pick it up, who are capable of grasping it will. The people still locked into artificial scarcity and conflicts, fighting this people, that people, they won't get it. But you can't really do anything for them as of yet. You know, everybody wakes up in their own time. All you can do is bring the obvious, CETA on facts, and the obvious will do what it's supposed to do. You know, it's like facts don't need our help. They're just facts. Let me see. They are, however, right in our face about it's a fight on principles and ethics. It always is. See, it's always been a fight. Principalities. You know, the fight has always been a principle one. Bernie is Obama 2.0. Yes, Harley, I think you're right. I think Bernie is just the next Obama. All he is, they create avatars and they put people in those avatars that are charismatic. And those people roll out the same thing that the group from the last party did. There's some things that never change. Bombing people, stealing their resources, stealing their land, taking away rights from Americans, rolling out a police state in support of an empire. None of that changes. But then they have a category of other things that the left wants and the right wants, and they'll like take like 1% or whatever that is and actually do it. They'll lie about 80%, but they'll do like a little 1%. And usually it's always just enough to keep people believing and voting. All right. Brother Don, good morning. Janet, good morning. No one knew. All right, Ben. Last words. Any last word? Ooh, someone said a note. We got a disagreement. Wait, stop. Susan got a note. Let me see. Nope, Gerard, I don't agree with your solution because those are just more of the lower vibes. To me, everything in reality is free and has everything to do with love and has nothing to do with so-called healthcare, etc. I feel you are a loving person, Gerard, but just don't resonate with concepts of just having free so-called healthcare and having tons of humans here that never leave their forms while on this paradigm. However, I feel being on a higher dimensions and densities can stay as long as they want to stay because they are in any form. Couple things there, Susan, couple things. I think we're saying the same thing on love. Free healthcare, healthcare has always been free. They literally just put a cost on it. Healthcare has always been some mint and dandelions, cannabis. Healthcare has always been free, right? So when I say free healthcare, I don't mean free disease management. I mean, don't let people die, but then teach them what being healthy is. And on the other part of it, people dying, I think. You don't agree with people staying. Well, that's up to people. It's not up to me. There's some people who want to live forever. I personally don't want to live forever, but a couple thousand years I think would be nice. Like now that we know telomere science and the human being is designed to live a very long life, confirming what the Sumerians said, the Egyptians said, and even the Old Testament Bible said, like they documented that people can live forever, but we die too soon. So I think human beings going back to having those repair mechanisms turned back on, that telomerase enzyme is a good thing. And I think it's up to you. If you want to go to the next dimension, next paradigm shift, heaven, whatever, then you should be able to do that. If you want to stick around, stick around. I don't want to stay forever. I was watching something, Susan, about staying forever. And they were just like, because there are people who are freezing their heads, so their brain is still frozen, and they're going to defrost them at some point in time and like put their head in a jug of water or something. And put some probes in it. As long as I stay here, I want to be healthy. I don't want to be I don't want to be in a body that's 180 years old. If I'm in my 20-year-old body because my telomerase enzyme is repairing the telomeres and my DNA is working at optimal condition, I'll stick around. But I still don't want to be here forever. You know, my head, my brain, it's actually in a jug of water hooked into probes. It's called a brain. The jug is called the skull. And I'm driving this monkey thing around. But at some point in time, I do want to move on. I just don't agree with telling people. That's all. You want to go early, go early. Go stick around. You should be able to stick around. I think we should just bless people that way. We should bless people with whatever technological advancement we have at that time as a thank you for being born here and sharing their lives with us, even if they're just coloring. Like, I am that type of hippie person where I'm like, you should be able to do what you want to do. We just get back to Kevin's comment. If you're a child and you just want to color pictures of dragons till you're 40 years old, then you should be able to do that. There's no obligation I think you should have to banks or work for corporations. I think you should just be here and be happy. Because if you're happy, you're going to create happiness around you, which means I'm going to be happier, which means there's going to be less violence. And so now robots can pay for it and automation. That's why I say everybody should have everything they want. It should be free. Because it always has been free, free with our labor. Now it can be free with robot labor. And I think that's better than the Terminator. Free labor for the elites, for Agenda 21 and the UN, and them just wanting to make a Terminator and Skynet to murder everybody and put us on these little plantation smart cities that are really just concentration camps, so we can concentrate on being socially correct, so we have a high social credit score, so they don't zap us with 5G and delete our bank accounts. I don't think that's a good idea. That sounds to me like more slavery. All right, good morning, Teresa. I'm trying to go, I'm about to go. I got to get down to the bottom of the comments. I think I hit most comments from most people. Laughter is effective. It is, Jennifer. We got to go back to real comedy. Good morning, Elaine. Buddha. Jonathan. Okay, Teresa's in the house. Buhuzu Gakini Ayaka. Yes, Teresa, and I have no idea what but you need to teach me. You need to teach me what that means. In my childhood, we knew almost the whole community. We did, Christine, and everybody knew each other. We knew the police too, they knew us. We knew the people at the bank. They gave us the lollipops, which turned out to be a carcinogen because they had sugar in it, but they still did it because they loved and cared for us. And you knew the bank lady, she knew you, and everybody waved at each other. Everybody was a community. You know, the police looked out for you because they knew you, they knew your parents and your cousins and everything. And it was a beautiful time. We need to go back to that, but that's only when people know. People will respect and care for things that people they know. If they don't know you, they don't know your family, they've never seen you before, they can treat you any kind of way. But if they know you and your family, or where you're coming from, or you've got that connection, like, oh, I went to school with your brother. Oh, okay. Well, listen, man, just slow down. I'm not gonna give you a ticket today. Go on and get out of here. And that's how police always used to be. But police, like the UN, this whole Agenda 21 thing, they're centrally managed. And they're enforcing the laws of Wall Street, which is a black market. And that's the problem we have. Come on in, Mark. Everything comes back to capital. That's how they control the human race. And so it's not about capital, it's about control. Whatever they use to control people, we got to get rid of. It could be okra chips. If the king had a big okra farm and, he was slicing them up and making money out of them, it'd have been okra chips. So it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with control. If people need okra chips to buy food in the house, then we need to fight okra chips. We need to get rid of it because they're using that to control people. It could be a shackle, it could be a chain, it could be a whip. Whatever we use to violate other people, which is violation of violence, which is you enforcing your will on somebody else who's being peaceful that doesn't bother anybody, that's a violation. That's violence. As long as you do that, people will get violent right back. They will be mentally ill. They will join gangs. They'll join the skinheads, the white nationalists, the Klan, the MI16, Bloods and Crips, and they should, because you started the violence. They were born here and they were told they could be free on the planet like a slug, a bug, a flea, a gnat, a booger, anything else, and they need to be at least as free as that. I think human children should be a little more free than that bacteria in a booger. But if we can just get them to that level of freedom, like Brother Kevin is saying, beautiful things will happen. Beautiful things happen when people are free. All right. Any more questions? I'm trying to direct people so that they don't get upset about every little thing, especially my family. It's a start. Yvonne, that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Luck. G-L-U-C-K. Luck. Americans have a right to outrage. Boy, they're outraging like crazy. But that's all we can do is try. And I try to change. And I think, I think y'all seen me involved. I think I've evolved on this. Those of y'all who began this little mission that we began 3 years ago, whenever we started doing these videos, I've evolved. I used to say stuff to piss people off. Now I try not to. I try to say things to get people to think. And I'm slowly shifting more and more what I say and how I say it and researching, because that's the only way we change things. When they're mad at you, they hate you, they're outraged by you, they're not gonna listen to anything you gotta say. All the data, you could have facts and spreadsheets and documentation, and the UN and Canada could have 43,000 mentions of Agenda 21, but as soon as you said Agenda 21, they can't stand anything else you gotta say, because you've started off the conversation with, I don't know, those darkies, or white privilege, or those immigrants, or these Democrats, or those Republicans. And I avoid stuff that's controversial. Climate change. I'm French. When it comes to climate change, vive la France. Where'd that even come from? That French people always on the fence. I'm on the fence on all of it. I don't think we're ever really told what's true, and I'm not trying to piss anybody off either way. We just really need to think about this planet doesn't want us to be here, and it's going to kill everybody that tries to tax the climate into not change. It's going to kill everybody that want to stay, and it's going to kill everybody who wants to keep destroying all the ecosystems using fossil fuels and hiding free energy. But I think that's how we build a community, Ivan. I think that's very wise, is considering how we talk to people so we can go back to being a community. Can I get a link to this picture, please? Yeah, Teresa, sure thing. I think I found it on the filter. I'll post a link to it. All right. Anything else? Elliot's in the house. Patty, Brian, Mandy. I gotta get running. Got slavery, y'all. I got a bag right here. Ain't got no cotton in it. I gotta fill this bag. The makers of money. Yes, Teresa. The rat setters. Yep, and that's the problem. The makers of money. If all of our issues have to do with what the results of capitalism or capital, not capitalism, capital. When you say capital, then you're obviously talking about all the isms. If they caused all the problem by making false fantasy money, then we know who our struggle should be against. It's not other poor people who don't print money. It's the people who own all the capitals. They're the ones who are sending all of our young men and women off to war. They're the ones determining what wars we fight, who to colonize. They're getting a whole lot of us killed, and we need to grow up. They're also the ones who are poisoning the homeland. Make your fight effective. Fight the good fight. And that's another scripture, isn't it? Fight the good fight. Make sure your fight is a good fight. And make sure you know how to define good. Make sure you know how to do some root cause analysis. But don't fight the wasted fight, the side effect fight. Fight the good fight. Fukushima. Oh, and that of things, Teresa. Fukushima should have never happened. The damn UFO flying around. I think people said there was a didn't they say there was a UFO over Fukushima? See, if it was a UFO, when Fukushima happened, if that was real, I think that was us coming back. I think some of us made it and they came back to take pictures like, oh, look at this. This is when a whole bunch of them was dying. Yeah, it's crazy. They had nuclear energy on a planet that still has storms. I don't know. Their brain wasn't working right. They didn't really understand you're not supposed to make nuclear energy power plant on a planet that has like tornadoes and storms and tsunamis. But hey, listen. Hey, look, let me get a selfie. Can I get a There's probably us in the future coming back. It's probably like, because kids, they don't know. They're probably 8 years old. Can I get a selfie with the Fukushima? Then again, they probably have the drone that does the selfie. But I just say, stay focused and know that another one of those daggone UFOs was over that Chinese airport. Shut down the airport for 8 hours. Who is flying these free energy devices? Stay focused. If you're fighting climate change, you don't think nuclear energy is a good thing, just keep asking your government. Anytime you get on stage, the whole 2020 debates or whatever debates in your country should just be simply this. Where's the free energy? Where's the free energy? Who has the free energy? But I want to talk about healthcare. I don't. I want to talk about free energy. But I want to talk about a wall. I don't. Where's the free energy? I'm tired of working. I've been a slave my whole life. I don't want my kids to be a slave. I'm tired of destroying this planet. Where's the free energy? Who got it? Who's flying these ships? We need to get the world's military together and find out who got these damn ships. And you'll see the Pentagon start to inch out the room like, oh damn, it's time to go. They figured it out. They start inching their way out the room. All right, I hear you. Oh my gosh, I never laughed about Fukushima before. That's flipping. It is weird, Teresa. I don't know if it's true. Hang on. We're going to back the music up for a second. Because somebody sent this. I don't know what to believe, y'all. I don't know. Somebody sent me a thing a while ago and they said there was a UFO over Fukushima. But that's what I would do if I were in the future. Because they're going to make time machines eventually. Fukushima UFO. And it's probably just going to be a Photoshop pictures. Fukushima UFO. Oh, people, look at that. Fukushima updates popping up everywhere. Because it's still a thing. I think, didn't Fukushima still kill more people than the flu virus? Didn't the what is that called? The Komoko? That virus? Didn't Fukushima still kill more people? They could be talking about this. See, now this is the problem I have, Teresa. It's like you look at these pictures. I don't know if that's a UFO. Because the monkeys are funny. Well, no, they're not. The monkeys are supposed to do this. See, the monkeys, they know they get money for doing this. You can make a viral picture if you make a Photoshop. It looks like that one's pretty obvious, and it could be. That's what I would do if I were in the future. I'd go back, because I mean, think about history class in the future. Do you think they're gonna have like spreadsheets and like picture textbooks and iPads? No. Listen, class, we're going to. When did this happen? 2016. Go back to see Fukushima. This was a time in a de-evolved status of us. Oh, we were only just moments from climbing out of trees and beating each other over the head with clubs and sniffing each other's butts for lunch and see who has the most delicious bananas. What trees? Because we couldn't tell the varieties. Oh, we were only just a few years out of that. So we were using nuclear energy at the time, but they didn't know. At the time, the government had free energy. But you had 1,000 engineers, at least in America, that was trying to tell everybody. And it wasn't even a secret. You could find it on the internet, but they couldn't figure it out because they had something called the mainstream media, and it told them what to be upset about every single day. And so they acted like children. They fought each other over nothing. And meanwhile, millions of people died. And then that's just before the nuclear war started, because they didn't stay focused. This is why in the future, after 90% of the planet's population was killed off, we grew the hell up. And we started putting critical thinking back in school systems. We took the indoctrination elements out. We used free energy, started feeding everybody, and we became what we are today. Then we made time machines. Now we can go back and look at the disgusting, de-evolved, chimpish monkey creatures that we came from. No, not the ones that actually swam from the trees and ate the bananas, because they were actually quite damn smart. It was when we got that 2% from something else and we made nuclear energy. The monkeys back then eating bananas, they knew what their food was, and they'd swing from the trees. They'd eat delicious food, and they were very sustainable. The monkeys that came after that, not so much. But we went through our hard times and we learned. So Fukushima is not a laughing matter. But now that government's admitting that these are UFOs, I don't know if that's a UFO. I'm pretty sure that that's not a UFO. But we know some of these actually are real pictures because somebody is flying a free energy device around. One of my theories is that it's one of the Rothschilds or Rockefellers in their new Corvette. They've had this for so long, they started giving it to their children. They actually rule the world, and the kids wanted to take it for a spin, so they went out there and did some bunny hops. I don't know. Who knows? I just know this. You shouldn't have Fukushimas. See, when I see ones like this, Teresa, how'd y'all get me on UFOs? I said I had to go. You just mentioned UFOs. They're like, somebody mentioned UFO. Who hasn't said UFO in a while? Teresa ain't said nothing. Y'all said, just say UFOs. I bet you get them. Say Fukushima, and then here I am. I gotta stop being so damn gullible. All right, I know what y'all done did to me. I gotta go. Yeah. So, I don't know if that's a UFO, but I kind of think that those are. But the interesting thing now is all the world's governments admitted, finally, they've done disclosure. We just didn't focus on it. Drop the alien topic. Doesn't matter if the aliens are blue. Doesn't matter if they're green. Doesn't matter if they got big heads or whatever. That's not important. What's important is free energy is a real thing. Now we can start to question the government as to why it's not being released to the population. Anyway, I had to go. This is Gerard. Y'all have a wonderful day. Happy hump day, because it ain't happy. Ain't nobody supposed to be humping. Humping is a bad thing. And if humping's happening, it needs some KY. It needs to be consensual, but it doesn't need to be banks and government compulsion or rapists in an alleyway. Same damn thing. All right, I had to go. Overpopulation is a hoax. We're not overpopulated. We're overstipulated. Let's stop being overstipulated. Let's get rid of some of the ignorance that we got going on this planet so we can build something better. Anyway, gotta go. There's plenty of room in the cab. Let's get off the truck. Everybody get off the truck. Said, we're done with this. We haven't had it with this. We know you got Kool-Aid and sub sandwiches and you up there dancing to that music in the front of the cab. He just driving. He can't even hear. Somebody Tyrone will fall off the back. He won't even know. We need to climb up to the front of the cabs, the New World Order, bang in the window, and get in that cab, stop the truck, and we're not going to do this no more. That's what we need to do. Anyway, how you going? Y'all have a great day. This is Gerard. Love y'all to death. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for sharing, subscribing, liking, and all that good stuff that keeps me going. Have a great day. Bye.